Let's see who gets in first. Who shall be my first victim? Cyber Bob is my first victim. Let's see. Matt's Makerspace is number 2. There is my notification. I can forward that to Michelle. Send. And Vince is number 3. Yeah, where's Jerry? It's usually here. Boom. I'm a little late starting today. Oh, that could be an idea. Something I wanted to test. I know the studs are magnetic, but are the plates magnetic? No, they're not. Damn it. I was hoping the plates were just regular steel. I could use magnets to attach to them, but nope, they're stainless. Hey, Michelle. Not a whole lot new this week. I still haven't even printed the triple head top for the lantern. I still haven't printed the triple head for this yet, but I have it designed. But the lights did come in. At least half of them came in. So after I'm done the stream today, I'll go to the mailbox and get the lights that I got from AliExpress. Hi, baby. How you doing? Yeah. Oh, good. Get ready to go to the appointment at 2, huh? Yeah, I finally lit a fire under the ass of those people to get her toes taken care of, so she's going to see the doctor at 2 o'clock today. About freaking time. Yeah, he's a good boy. Good boy. Yeah. He's a good boy. I don't know where Noel is. I don't see him. He's stalking somewhere. Yeah, I caught her doing PT when I visited her on Monday, and she kicked ass. She was doing good. She still can't stand up yet. You know, her ankle gives out, and those toes have got to hurt like hell, but she was really kicking ass. So I'm hopeful. I think as long as she stays motivated, she'll do it. He's not in that box. Probably at the front door. He loves that front door perch. I got your tablet. It's pink. I'll have to find a nice picture to put on the play. So you'll have that when I come see you next week. I figure, leave the games on the phone and just use that for video. I've got Prime Video installed in there, Tubi installed, YouTube installed. Good. That's good. Oh. Yeah, I also got a little, I'm using it right now, but got a little pink stand for it, the rubber feet, so you can stand up. Ah, there you go. I'll try to arrange that. I was actually expecting it to have a garbage camera, but it's actually not bad. No, not yet. We got to figure out what your Facebook password is. I don't know what it is. Oh, wait a minute. Your Facebook password probably uses that new one that I came up with. That would be one of the first things that we changed. Try that. Okay, Play Store. Big Bad Joe, how are you? Got Michelle's tablet, and it's pink. Let's see. Facebook. Install. Okay, Michelle. Yeah, it's not too bad. Considering the price, it's better than I thought. It's not. I was hoping it wasn't going to be laggy, and so far it's not laggy. So the processor's halfway decent, and even the camera is not that bad. I mean, I was expecting the camera to be absolute garbage, but not only is it not bad, it actually has autofocus. Michelle was just on. She's doing okay. Let's see. Okay, it's trying to install. Is it still installing or something? Or I don't know what it's doing. Oh, it's doing something, so it must be installing. Facebook is a very invasive app. While it's doing that, let's get Messenger installed too. No, let's leave Messenger on the phone. Hey, Jerry Martin, how are you doing? All right, we'll just have to wait for that to finish installing. But yeah, 6,000 milliamp battery. Um, it's only got 4 gigs of RAM, but that's not bad. Plus, it's got the extension to 8 gig. Yeah, I use tinfoil for Facebook just because it's such a pervasive app. It wants permissions for absolutely everything. Like a lot of times, okay, I get it. You need this because of that. You need this, but I just don't trust Zuckerberg. I don't trust him as far as I can throw him. Yeah, I think she bailed already. She's getting ready to go to her doctor's appointment. We finally got her a doctor's appointment scheduled. Yeah, the doctor who kept putting off seeing her. I mean, I get it. It's a poor state, and the doctors are probably heavily overworked, and I get that. But don't create some BS stories. He said that well, Michelle was bad mouthing him and saying he did a bad job on her toes. Well, first of all, we very explicitly said he did a great job on her toes. I mean, he really did. Her 2 big toes that he did, they look great. I got no complaints about the work he did. I have a feeling what actually happened is that the nurses said that Michelle's complaining about her 2 ingrown toenails, and there was a miscommunication there. And I don't think he realizes that we're talking about 2 different toes that he never touched. And but I guess he took offense to that and said he doesn't want to work on her anymore, and that she was bad mouthing him. He called her on the phone and she was complaining. Hello, she doesn't have a phone, so how'd you call her? I want them to get me in touch with them just so I can yell at him for that. Like, dude, don't make up bullshit. She doesn't even have a phone. Okay, we have no problem with the work he did. He did great. She didn't feel a thing. She felt no pain. The toes look great. We got no. This is new toes. Okay, different toes. I hate when people feel like they need to make up shit to cover their ass. It's like, I get it. You're busy, but I don't want a simple ingrown toenail to turn into an amputation, and that can happen. But anyway, they're taking her someplace to see a doctor now because the toes are pretty bad. And although they're getting better, the doctor there prescribed some cream to put on toes. That actually has improved it a lot. But it's still, the one toe is still massively ingrown for some reason. Like it's just curling right around. I know how bad that can get. So that's being taken care of. Hey, SBC3D. I got a couple of neat things on Prime Day, and not much because I don't have much money, but I was able to get like $50 worth of stuff for like $25. There's this app called Zezzle. It's one of those pay later apps where you they split it into like a couple like 4 payments every 2 weeks, and they say no interest, but yes, there is interest because they charge a fee, and that fee is not insubstantial. It equates to about 18 to 22% interest, and if they charge that fee on each payment, it's even more interest. But they had a thing, the Atlas Earth that I play, ads keep popping up and you say get $20 to spend on Amazon. So I grabbed it and it worked. I got the $20 to spend on Amazon, and then they changed it to $10 to spend on Amazon. So I was like, what the hell? Let me try that one, and it freaking worked. I was able to use both I was able to use both spend codes, so I got $30 to spend on Amazon. So they had this on sale. I already have a pair of these, but I want a pair that uses the DeWalt batteries. And this uses DeWalt compatible batteries. Actually, pretty nice batteries. I like the way that lights up. Except that the only bad thing is these batteries won't charge on my DeWalt charger. It blinks once and turns off. It turns on the charger they come with, and it charges on my USB chargers, but it doesn't charge on my quad bay charger, which is really annoying. I'm trying to figure out if I can figure out a way why this doesn't charge on the quad bay charger. But what's nice about this one is that it was on sale for $29.99 for Prime Day. So I got it for, $11 plus the fees, which was like $3.50. So I got this for $15. And the cool thing is it comes with 2 batteries. I mean, the batteries alone are worth more. You basically got this for free. And it's the nice, I think these are 2 amp hour. Yeah, these are 2 amp hour batteries, so small. And a lot of people like the big giant batteries, but I actually like the small batteries because I hate when I'm using like my little 1/4-inch impact gun and you got the giant heavy battery that weighs more than the tool. When I'm putting screws in around the house, I don't need a 12 amp hour battery. Okay, a little 1.3 to 2 amp hour battery is plenty. That's still going to last for months putting screws in around the house, and it's a hell of a lot lighter. But the cool thing is this came with 2. So you got two batteries plus the tool for $30. I got 20, but now with the fees, it came to 35 with tax, and but then I got the $20 off, so I got it for $15. Not freaking bad. It's not the latest greatest version, so this one doesn't have the safety. So the newer ones, if you touch them, they won't work. This way, if your finger gets in there, it theoretically won't cut your finger all the way off. It's like the saw stop, but this one is an older version, I guess. It doesn't have the safety feature, but that's okay. I don't care. It doesn't look as nice as the DeWalt one, but it costs 1/5 what the DeWalt one costs. These things are incredibly handy. Well, especially around my property, I have a lot of juniper trees. Oh yeah, there we go. Hey Michelle, I brought the toenail clippers. Amputation, no problem. Because that'll take a toe right off. I mean, like you stick your finger in. I don't even want to. I don't even want to. I don't even want to pretend to stick my finger in there. You know, even with my finger off the trigger, because if that thing goes off, it's gonna take your finger off. I mean, this thing is stupidly wicked. I mean, this is just a plastic spoon, but still, I mean, it just it's nothing. I mean, this just it'll cut through a 1-inch branch like it's not even there. It's just, and this comes with a spare set of blade. Yeah, these are, but they're handy. They are so handy. Now, one thing I would like to do, and I'm probably going to add to this because I think it would be an incredible safety feature, is I'd like to see a wrist strap that goes over your hand. So a little Velcro strap right here. And why? So if you accidentally let it go, it doesn't release. Because what if that thing engages at the same time you release and you instinctively try to grab it? You know, that's unlikely, very unlikely, but it would still be nice to have that secured to my hand. But yeah, these are really, really handy around the yard because, and also you press and hold, it'll beep. There you go. Now it's locked in place. Put that on there and you're good to go. But these are incredibly handy out here in New Mexico because we have a lot of these short juniper trees. And so the trees, they don't grow tall. They grow out. And so I got a whole bunch of branches that are starting to invade my driveway. And every year you got to trim them. So I could just walk around with one of these. Instead of going out with a hacksaw, cutting a freaking branch off, I could just walk around with this and go, and snip all the branches. Very, very handy if you have those short shrubby-like trees. So for $15, and it comes with 2 batteries, hell yes, I bought that. I also got a new set of clippers. These are USB-C rechargeable from Vivor, and with the coupon codes on Prime Day, this came to $11.18. Okay, I also bought it with this for $12, which I'll show you in a second, so that I could use up the rest of my credit that I got from them. But this is actually pretty insane for $11. And look, nice packaging too. I mean, they even did it. Vivor is doing a pretty good job. But yeah, it's a pair of clippers, like wall clippers, and really, really nice. And I also love the fact that it's got an actual slide switch instead of that little rocker switch that the wall has. That's it. And it also tells you how many uses, how much battery power is left, USB-C for charging. These are nice. I haven't used them yet. I want to wait till I get oil to make sure I keep these in good condition. And it also looks like they use looks like pretty standard attachment for the blades. And it looks like a bit of a finer blade than the wall ones. The wall ones are good. It's a good brand. But that's freaking nice for $11. What the hell, man? That's insane. Let's see, I actually didn't even check what it comes with. Oh, it does come with a little bit of oil. That's good. Okay. So it comes with a cleaning brush and a little bit of oil. It comes with, it comes with a whole, well, you look at that. It comes with a whole set of it. I don't need any of these, but it comes with a whole set of clipper dust blades. Halfway decent USB-C cord. And I mean, it feels nice. It's probably a charge-only cord, but you know, that's all they really need. And it comes with a, ooh, it's heavy. It's got a weight inside. It comes with a dock. Let's see how well that goes in. Oh, nice. That socket's right in there. Oh, not perfectly every time, but not bad. You gotta wiggle it a little bit, but yeah. You can either plug it in directly, or you can plug it into a little dock. I have no complaints. That's that's not bad for $11.18. I mean, hello. I mean, even the damn box is nice. They actually put some effort into this one. So I am super impressed with that. Well, assuming it performs well, but the blades look like the same as on the wall, so I can't imagine it's not going to perform just fine. And then a real surprise was this. It's not as nice as the other one that I got from AliExpress. I paid $17 for the one from AliExpress, but now it's like $32 and $26. That was on sale before the tariffs went into effect. This one is almost the same thing, but not quite as nice. So this one doesn't actually have a display for the USB. At least I don't think it does. It's got an A and a C. However, that C is bi-directional PD 100 watt. So this will it'll output 100 watt USB-C, and it'll also accept input 100 watt USB-C to recharge the DeWalt battery. And this display, so far, let's plug it into something and see what happens. This display seems to only indicate the charge capacity of the battery. But here's the cool thing. If any of you guys who have power tools, you're going to be aware of this. If the battery, this is one of my original DeWalt batteries, the 1.3 amp hour ones that come with the tools. They're one of my favorite batteries because they're so small. I'm one of those weirdos. I like the starter batteries. Yes, I love having I have 12 6 amp hour batteries and one 12 amp hour battery, and I love them. They're great. But for my screw gun and stuff like that, I prefer the little 1.3 amp hour batteries that those starter batteries they come with, because they're so small, they're so light, they don't weigh much. You see, that's why I like these batteries, because they're about the same size. It's actually these are a little bit bigger. You see that these are a little bit bigger. This is actually a little bit smaller than these, but these are pretty close to 2 amp hour. But the only thing I don't like about the starter batteries, no display. No check it display, like that. It doesn't come with the little thing to tell you what the capacity or the charge level is. But this one has been dead for 4 or 5 years. 5 years. When I came out here to New Mexico, this was dead already. I was using the bigger batteries. And when they go below a certain voltage, they become dead, and the charger won't charge them. Well, the really cool thing about this is that not only is it a 100 watt charger, which is actually faster than the DeWalt fast charger, which I believe is 65 watts. But this one it'll charge a dead battery. So even though this was putting out 0 on the screen, after about 10 minutes, it went to 1. And then it started cranking up. Actually, when it got to 10%, I actually unplugged it because it was getting really hot. I figured, okay, let it cool down, let the battery settle. And then I did it again, and it charged all the way to 100%, no problem. And so far, it's holding a charge. Let's see if it dropped any. Okay, it did drop more, so now it's down to 94%. So I'm going to let that sit for a day or two, see how far it drops, charge it back up. And I figure if I cycle it a few times, that'll exercise it, and it should be okay. But yeah, this battery is now usable again. So this will charge dead batteries. And it's $12 on Amazon. Yeah, I'm gonna get a couple more of these once I have the money. This is just nice to have, especially since annoyingly, these will not charge on my quad bay charger, which is really freaking annoying. Because now I have 4 of these little batteries. I have 3 of these plus this one, and for some reason those batteries, the MELF batteries, won't charge on my quad bay DeWalt charger. Now that's not. I don't think that's. I'm pretty sure that's not an OEM DeWalt. It doesn't say DeWalt. It's not. That's not an OEM DeWalt charger. It's a third-party quad bay charger. Maybe that has something to do with it. I gotta dig out one of my OEM DeWalt single battery chargers and see if it'll charge those batteries. But yeah, I'm really, really, really stoked about having this working again. My original plan, I don't see it handy here. You know how you can get the little battery trays so you can plug this into your power wheels and stuff like that? Well, just get one of those and cross the wires, positive to positive, black to black, and then just take a good battery and a bad battery and plug them in. You're basically jumping the one battery with the other battery. You know, plug them in for a couple minutes. You know, hold it in your hand, and as soon as you start to feel it warm up, unplug it, plug it into the charger, and that's usually enough to jump the battery and get the charge. This is even better. I plug this into it, plug my USB-C into it. I can show you. Where is my? Here it is. So this is the 65 watt USB-C. And now it says 95%. So I just plug it into there, and you'll see the green light will light up to indicate PD. And there you go. Now this will charge. A little hard to beat that. I mean, and also it's bi-directional. So you can also, not only is this charge, but it'll turn your battery into a battery bank, a 100 watt battery bank. And unlike this one, which is 65 watt bi-directional, this has 2 USB ports. It's got the PD100 slot, and it's got, I'm assuming, a 18 or 20 watt. Actually, it should tell me. It is QC 3.0, and it'll output 5 to 12 volts, 24 watt. Not bad. So I got a 100 watt PD 3.0 port, and I have a QC 3.0 24 watt port. So that's actually, for 12 freaking dollars, that's hard to beat. That's really hard to beat. It's already up to 96. But yeah, that's really nice. You can get those 65 watt laptop USB-C chargers. It looks like a laptop brick for like Lenovo laptops and stuff like that. You can get those pretty cheap. So building my own quad bay USB-C charging rig might not be that hard. So I might actually do that. That might be an interesting 3D printing project. But on another note, there's another 3D printing project that I want to do. And they have, first of all, there's some annoying tools available that I can't get because they're, what is that? They're from, I keep finding them from Makita, and also Chinese brand tools. And I'm guessing the Chinese brand tools copied the Makita socket, and that's why it's also Makita compatible. But I can't find them for Milwaukee or DeWalt. So I have it. I think I have it on here. Let's see here. Where is it? Here it is. Java update. Go away. Let's see. Google Photos. Sections. No, I don't want to back up photos. You don't make it free anymore, so no. Don't notifications either. No, I don't want to buy your service. Jesus God, Google, stop it. It is not on this device. Oh, now that I know how to send myself direct deposits, I'm going to try to do a bank account to see if I can get a bonus. Boy, this does not like me doing this. Boy, it really does not like me doing that. Messing with that tablet while I'm doing this. It does not like that at all. Okay, there we go. Now we're good. Let me make sure OBS has Task Manager. Let me make sure OBS is set for a higher priority. Resource value. I should be able to set priority. I thought I could set OBS to a higher priority. I thought there was a way to do that. Not yet, but yesterday I'm glad you're here. I was waiting for you to come in, Colin. I received Colin's. Oh, YouTube is angry now. What's this widget? I don't know what that means. Analytics. I got the package in yesterday. I went to the post office and got it. And I also got the pack of nozzles too. Thank you, buddy. So I still have to find a I have some, so I've got it here somewhere. I just gotta find it. I gotta find a 30mm 24-volt fan. Although I could just put it in the existing mount. I'm gonna do that. But yes, this week I'm going to install the hot end onto the Chiron and get that bad boy working again. And flat objects stick better to the Chiron, with less of the and also Cassandra, if you're scared of those nippers, wait until you see the little 8-inch chainsaws. Oh, you're scared of that? Wait until you see this. This is a machine you will never see for sale in a U.S. store, because the liability risk of selling a machine like this, nah. So this is the toy that I got. I got this a few months ago. This is the toy I got for taking care of my yard, because we have these grasses and weeds that grow that are basically like little trees. And one of the first things I want to do to this is convert this to DeWalt batteries. So I don't have to use these special batteries. Let me get my base and everything clear. Okay, so this is basically a handheld circular saw. Now we disconnect it. This brings new definition to the term ankle biter. You do not want to stick your finger anywhere near that bad boy, because that is literally a circular saw blade. Yeah, but for chopping down stick of death. Yeah. That's my nickname for it, ankle biter. But yeah, that's nice. I mean, this is telescopic. The handle collapses for storage, and this thing is amazing. Yeah, I know. Oh, this won't cut off toes. This will just obliterate toes. There'll be nothing left. This thing actually scares me a little bit. This is the kind of thing where wear good boots, not Crocs. Make sure you wear eye protection, and just, no music, nothing to play around with. Just use it and be done with it. But for my kind of yard, where it's 3 foot tall, almost woody type weeds that grow, this is awesome. And this is why you will probably never see this for sale in a U.S. store. It's quite literally a circular saw on a stick. Get rid of all the guards and the wheels, and probably make a halfway decent zombie apocalypse weapon too. But it works. It's amazing. It does an incredible job. But this is one of those things where a litigious legal system is a problem. That should not be a problem to sell. But people, 54% functionally illiterate population. I mean, half the population might have difficulty reading the warnings that come with it. Yeah, that's scary. But it's a good tool. That's the kind of tool where you might want to, jack a 12 amp hour battery into it, so you can get all your weed cutting done. But yeah, that is very handy. I like that tool. So for the tall grasses that grow here, that's great, and for the juniper trees, this is great. If you garden, this is wonderful. It just saves you so much effort. You just bip bip, and that's it. It cuts whatever you want it to cut. It's very nice. I like gardening. So, yeah. I just hate the fact that it comes with these funky batteries. If I could find one of those that took DeWalt batteries, I'd probably buy it just for that purpose. So what I'm probably going to do is just take my grinding wheel and just grind off this just grind it off right to here. Just take that whole thing off. And then, you know, these are going to be connected to wires inside, these two electrodes. And so I'll just connect them to one of my little DeWalt adapters, and then just epoxy it on there, or screw it on. There's plenty of plastic. I put 2 screws on there plus some epoxy, and just turn this into a DeWalt tool. And it'd just be nice to be able to use the same batteries for everything. I understand why people like a battery ecosystem. That actually makes sense. Look how simple these are. No balancing. So on your typical decent good quality battery like this, you see you have all these contacts. Well, what they're probably made for, if I had to guess, seeing as there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 of them. So the outside ones, I'm assuming there's outside. Well, maybe there isn't. Or maybe it's simpler than I thought. But my guess is that this is for the BMS, for balancing. And these extras is for balancing the cells to make sure they stay within the same voltage range. While this one appears to just have your positive, negative, and temperature. Usually that one is temperature, to see how hot the battery is. And that actually makes sense because when I take something like this and plug it in, this basically turns your DeWalt battery into a bench power supply. You can see here it's actually telling me the temperature. And that's going to come from a thermistor built into the battery on one of those pins. And this also does 100-watt USB, but sadly not bi-directional. It's like, come on, whoever you are. It just says voltage regulator. It doesn't even have a brand name. But yeah, I really, really wish that was bi-directional 100-watt. But it's got a Qi charger, 100-watt USB, 18-watt USB regular, and then of course you have a what do you call that? I keep forgetting what these are called. It's not a Dean's plug. Dean's plug is the red one that has the T shape. What the heck are these called? The yellow plugs, the yellow ones. I keep forgetting. But anyway, it has one of those, and it can output 0 to 30 volts as a regulated bench power supply. Pretty nice. You get these for about $30. Oh, interesting. This only has 2 pins. So it must have its own thermistor in here. I didn't realize that. Huh. Yeah, XT30 and XT60. That's it. XT plug. You got it. Thank you, Colin. But yeah, XT30 and XT60. That's an XT30. So it comes with an XT30 plug on there. It also comes with the pigtail with the lever wire nut thing. It comes with that, so you can just plug it into whatever you want. Use it as a bench power supply. That's actually really nice, especially in the field. It's too bad. I bet you this is pretty close to a DeWalt battery. How close is it? Oh, it's nowhere near. Huh. I wonder how hard it would be to convert this. Well, theoretically, you could buy an empty DeWalt battery case and just take the cells out of here and put it in the new case. You could do that. Whether that'd be worth it or not, I'm not sure. This is a dismantleable. It's got 4 screws, so it might be worth it. I mean, this battery works fine, so that might be interesting to play around with. It would only be equitable if you can get the battery case cheap enough. If you can get that battery case cheap enough in bulk, that'd be worth it. And that's exactly what I'm looking to do, is to get a whole bunch of those battery. What I want is we have a thing in in cameras that we do, it's called a dummy load, a dummy battery. Basically, it's a battery for a camera that has nothing in it but wires. And then it runs to a power plug. And that's so that you basically run your camera on AC power or DC power, without having to use your batteries. And it's charged up to 100%. I might as well charge the other one. This one here. Might as well zap that one to 100 too. Oh, interesting. So it does not reset until you unplug it. There it goes. 97. Yep. And the 30, 60, 90 is just the amperage. 30 amp, 60 amp, 90 amp. And it's just bigger. Oh, let me know how the audio sounds. I got the noise gate and noise suppression reinstalled. So the audio should be a lot better now. I kept the noise suppression mild so it shouldn't distort too much. And, but anyway, there is an interesting thing. Let me see if it's on here. It's hard to describe without showing you a picture. Let's see, collections on this device. Screenshot, there it is. So, first of all, there's a neat little gadget that I want badly, that it would be especially handy for things like lights, fans, Bluetooth speakers, things like my ankle biter, the ankle biter from hell. It's a 2-to-1 battery adapter. Basically, it's a gadget that has one of these and two of these, just the sockets, not the batteries. So it's just this plug and two of these plugs on the side. So it's like this, and then it has two receptacles here and here. And basically it allows you to plug two batteries into one. So if you have two 4 amp hour batteries, you can plug both of them into this adapter, plug that adapter into your tool, and now you have 8 amp hours of power. And what's even cooler is because it's two separate batteries, that theoretically means you actually have a higher amp load and a higher efficiency, since you're not pulling it all through one battery circuitry. You're splitting the load between two batteries. They also have another really cool one that's a battery extension tether. So basically, it's a male and female battery connector with a stretchable cord in between. So you could put your battery on your hip, plug this into it, run the cable to the battery dummy on the tool, and now not only do you have the battery on your hip, but the tool is a lot lighter now. And again, I can find those all over the place, but not for DeWalt. And then lastly, this one, I can find this for DeWalt, but it's very expensive. It is $190, but it is incredibly cool. It's 4 batteries inside that enclosure, and that looks big enough to take 12 amp hour batteries. So you can put a 48 amp hour 48 amp hour 5S battery in there. And what's really cool is that it comes with a cord and a dummy slug that plugs into your tool and backpack straps. So it's literally a battery backpack. So you you put 4 batteries in this, you put it on your back, and then you have this cable with a dummy tray, basically one of these with no batteries in it, just a wire coming out of it. And you just jack that into whatever tool you want. You can freaking power all your tools all day on that. And so what I want to do is I want to make one. Now I don't, unless I can figure out an easy way to do it, I don't plan to 3D print the actual battery sockets. That's just not equitable. Because so far the cost of getting the hardware is greater than the cost of just buying a battery tray, meaning one of these that has no USB. You can buy these for about $3 a pop, $3 or $4 a pop. I have some here. I don't know where it's at. What did I do with that? It's here somewhere. I don't know where it's at, but I have a box of them. Basically, it's this with a wire coming out of it, and you just plug it into whatever the hell you want. And that's all it is. It's that simple. So you just take one of these, take 4 of these, and screw them into a 3D printed enclosure. And the flex batteries, the ones that could do the 20 or 60, the but I want to make my own battery pack that'll do that. Now, that battery pack idea will also let me do something I really want to do. A couple of things happen. First of all, I have discovered you can get higher quality, higher amp hour lithium iron phosphate batteries. You know, they look like gel cells, but you can get them lithium iron phosphate now. Most of them, they're pretty cheap, but they're also low amp output, meaning they can't handle a high amp load. Well, they have versions now. That's not a limitation of lithium iron phosphate. That's a limitation of price. They're using lower grade cells to keep the price low. The higher grade cells obviously are worth more and cost more. But I found out you can buy UTV, ATV, and garden tractor batteries that are lithium iron phosphate that have 600 and even 900 cold cranking amps. They have a 100 amp BMS inside. So these can actually handle the load of running power tools. And especially if you stack them. And that's exactly what I plan to do, because not only can I put, for example, 4 DeWalt batteries to make a DeWalt battery backpack. Hell, I could put 8. Put eight battery trays in there, and now you can have 8 batteries. The question is there any intelligence inside that backpack? Like, is there any intelligence? Is there any circuitry in there that's organizing these batteries? Or is it literally just putting the batteries in parallel? And if it's just putting the batteries in parallel, then I can easily duplicate that. If there's actually some BMS action going on inside there, that's a little trickier. But I found out on AliExpress, I can get the pigtail ready-made, so I don't have to make it myself. And that's one particular component it would be better to buy unless you really know what you're doing. Although with TPU, I can do a lot. It's annoying on Temu if you search for 4 DeWalt, it doesn't work. It doesn't give you the result it should, but that does work on AliExpress. So I was able to find all kinds of neat little things on AliExpress for DeWalt. And then I wonder, how many of these can we make? So let me find out. Hang on a second. I also want to get one of these. There it is. I think I found one of these for DeWalt too. We just bring up a few. Okay. We shall wait for it to load. Hang on. I'll show you the screen once it's done loading. It's taken a while. go. There's the battery adapter. Not the circuit board for the batteries. That's not what I'm looking for. It's the if there's a circuit board inside the backpack. I don't know if there is. Meaning, I don't know if there's any kind of intelligence or programming inside that backpack that's organizing the combination of the batteries. I doubt it. It probably is just putting them in parallel. So that is this thing here. So this is the little battery pack thing. That's what it is. And then it has a standard C13 plug on the end here. But somehow I think if there's any circuitry, it's for power level. You know how much power is in your battery. But I don't need that. So you see here how it's got this little slug that plugs into your tool. And although, why the hell would they have that go that way? Oh no, that is the right way. Yeah, that's right. This is the front of the tool. Okay, that's the right way. So you have this slug. It's just a dummy tray that plugs into your battery. And then this cable runs to this device here and plugs in right there. And then you just wear this backpack. And they do have for DeWalt. But this is also really expensive. This is $200. $181 plus tariff and tax. You're gonna pay. Look how much they drop it if you buy 3 or more. But I think I can make one of these for about $40. Yeah. I also want to try to make one of these. I'd like to get or make one of these. Well, if I'm going to be doing a lot of work, it just means I won't have to swap batteries. And I can just unplug one tool, plug in the next tool, unplug one tool, plug in the next tool. Whatever tool I'm using, I don't need to have any batteries at all. I just put all the batteries in the backpack. And now I don't have to worry about batteries at all. It also makes the tools a hell of a lot lighter. Whoa. This stand doesn't like this big giant tablet, I guess, because it just collapsed. It's also handy for emergency situations. So, for example, when the power went out, for a half a day, and I had to keep swapping batteries to keep my router running, I could just plug 4 batteries into something like this, and then plug that battery into the inverter, and now it's got 4 batteries running it. So I don't have to keep swapping batteries. But that's also where something like this could come in handy. I would really like to get something like this that uses the DeWalt batteries. So this takes 4 DeWalt batteries, and then you have USB ports and an AC port, and it does 350 watts. The 350 watts is kind of lame. This can do a whole hell of a lot more than 350 watts. And it's also pretty expensive. You can get this little one that takes 2 batteries. And if it was a bigger price difference, it'd be worth buying the little one and then just adding an extension to it, using the battery slug, the battery backpack method, because it's the same thing. Just this one has 4 connections, this one has 2 connections, but you save like almost $35 getting this one. But I found these are the battery adapters. You can see this is just a DeWalt battery adapter. That's all it is. And you can get them without the this one here. There you go. There's a simple one. So there's just a simple. This is the DeWalt battery socket and 2 wires. Super simple. And these are cheap. You can get these for $3.82 a piece. So under $4. Now this is the cool little double battery adapter I found that I cannot find a DeWalt version of. So you see, you plug in 2 batteries, and then you have your slug. Oh, is that what that is? Is that a Makita battery? That looks just like this. That looks just like that one. I wonder if these are Makita batteries. I can get a DeWalt to Makita adapter. I couldn't use it for this, but it would allow me to gain a whole lot more usage out of all these little Chinese batteries I have. And I recognize these names too. This is what I see a lot. I see Makita, and then I see these names: Lambum, Ziphu, Hangsung, Jingmi. So I wonder if they're all copying. I bet you this is a Makita. I gotta find a Makita tool and test that. I bet you that these are all Makita batteries. That looks exactly the same. I mean, that's a spitting image of what we're looking at on the screen right there. Oh, I bet. That is cool. I'm gonna have to test that. I don't have any Makita tools. I gotta find a neighbor who's got a Makita tool and see if this will plug into it. I bet you this is Makita. And that means why'd you do that? Oh, it's under Dollar Express. Oh, buzz off. Would you look at that? So for $9, I'll add that to my picks. I'll add that to my next order. Oh, wait a minute. There's an even cheaper one. 20-volt battery to Makita tool. Yeah, here we go. $6. I'll add that to my next order. This one is more expensive. It's the same thing. The same damn thing. This is capitalism, guys. This is capitalism. Any more? Here's the battery box. Oh, it looks like it's just a box and screws and like to repair your existing damaged one. Here's a complete one. See, it's $10 to get something like this, to get that little piece. Because what we really need to properly 3D print this is we need that right there. We need this little plug thing right here. Come on. Why won't it blow up for me? It's a douche nozzle. But yeah, that's, huh. I could print that. Here's one for $6.59. $9.19. Yeah, see, here's another 2-in-1 for $11, but it's Makita. Now, it's interesting. If this is Makita, I can get this to use for my ankle biter, because this came with 2 batteries. So I can just plug both of these batteries into the ankle biter. I'm pretty sure it came with 2 batteries. I think I picked the one that came with 2 batteries. Huh. I wish I could find this for the DeWalt batteries. I wonder if there's a reason they don't do that. There has to be a reason. So, but yeah, that's something I'd like to try to make. That's another inverter. But here's I could buy just the inverter that plugs into the DeWalt battery, and it has 2 USB ports. So you got your Type C, your A, and your 300-watt inverter, and that would just plug into your DeWalt battery. So take this and plug it into that 4-way battery pack, and you can make a much cheaper inverter. Actually, that's basically the same thing. That basically is the same thing. Huh. So that's something I want to get. This is the one I got originally. You can get them for about 18 now. This one is nicer. First of all, this is bi-directional. So this will charge and discharge your batteries. So you can get 100 watts, 140 watts out of this. And you can also charge your DeWalt battery with a USB-C. It comes with an A port, and it has an actual display screen that actually gives you some decent information. Yeah, that's 138 watts max, 18 watt max. Nice. But yeah, this here shows you your data. How many volts, how many amps, how many watts, percentage of the charge on the battery. These are really nice. But it's hard to beat these for 12 bucks. It's hard to beat $12 for that. But $18 isn't, well, $20. $18.30 plus $1.83 shipping. Now this is the battery extension. I'm gonna nab one of these. And this one they finally do have for DeWalt. So there's the battery slug, and there's the battery. So there's your male and your female. And so you plug your battery into this and your tool into that. But see, the problem is it's expensive. So $16.28 plus $15.27 shipping. You know, the Makita one is like 12 bucks. Now this is the other tool. This is what I need to make the 4 battery backpack that I want to design and print. So this is the slug. So there's your slug and there's your cable, and it's just a standard C13. So all I have to do is wire up 4 battery trays to a C13 cable, and that will just plug right in. And that would give you and this is not bad. It's only 11 bucks. So actually, this would allow me to make that that extension for 15 bucks. 16. 1134 plus 382 plus tax, and just cut the end off and attach it to the wires on the little battery adapter, and there you go. You have your extension. This is also really nice. This is a 6 bay battery charger. So this is like the 4-gang battery charger I have, but this one does 6. And I believe this will also charge them simultaneously. Let me see if it tells you. I'm pretty sure it told me. I know one of them can do it simultaneously. Like it charges all 6 at the same time. Voltage of heat. Doesn't tell me. Now they also have a version of this that has the inverter and a plug, so that you can use the batteries as an inverter and USB power, and it could also plug into the wall to recharge the batteries. So it's a dual function, you know, tool and charger. That's really cool. I gotta find it again, but it was very expensive. But that's something that what might be interesting to try to work on too. I could probably design and print something like this that uses these things to do it. That could work in theory. It wouldn't be as clean though, because you'd have to figure out some way of being able to see the display, and also plugging in the USB-C. I'll have to take one of these apart. It's just 6 screws. Maybe this here is modular. If this, and this is all different modules I can move around, then I could hide the USB ports on the inside and simply have a switch to, you press a button to reboot the power supply, since, as we saw, you have to actually unplug the battery and unplug the USB in order to reset this to get it to work properly. Um, huh. That's interesting. I might have to try that. But then theoretically, I can make it as big as I want. I can make it a 10 gang and charge 10 batteries. I mean, I've got printers big enough to print a housing that large. That wouldn't be that hard. And just, you can even do it piecemeal. If I make it modular, like a 2 battery module, so 1 battery on each side, you buy 2 of these. And then when you have the money to buy 2 more of these, you print the next module, bolt it together, and install it. In the base, you'd have space for the 65-watt USB. So let's see if we can find that. Lenovo, 65-watt. There it is. Yeah, they're $9 each. They're dirt cheap. $7 each. Can we beat $6.90? That requires a cable, which is going to bring your price up. Yeah, I think that's as cheap as it's going to get. Although an original OEM for 17 is not bad. Now, this is a case where eBay might actually be cheaper because you might be able to buy in bulk. Cancel, skip. Okay, so there we go. Let's do lot. Because the OEM charger is going to be a much, much higher quality charger. Is that the same thing? Oh, there we go. $70 for 10 of them. So that's $7 a piece for OEM chargers. Here's a lot of 10 for, that's the round barrel. We don't want that. Oh, that's round tip. We don't want that. So I need to do a search for USB. Here's 10 of them for 85. That's $8.50 a piece. 88. A 5. Out of 5. That's not Type C. That's square tip. Okay, so that's the best you're going to get so far. That's worth it. It's only $1 more than AliExpress, and these are OEM chargers. Nice. Okay. Is this the same seller? Yeah. It'd be nice to find these at 100 watt, but let's add that to watch list. Maybe they are available at 100 watt. 100. Well, actually, even 45 watts not bad. That's still plenty fast. But it looks like there is no 100 watt. So let's do a search without Lenovo. USB-C. Okay, so there's some 100 watters. I guess they have a lot of these. Jesus. Looks like 65 watts the sweet spot. Actually, that kind of makes sense. Because if you made a 10 bay charger, that's 650 watts. You're going to be pulling over. That's not that bad. Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, any AC outlet will handle that. Hell, even just using 20 watt is not that bad. I mean, your standard like 4 amp hour battery is 4 times 18. That's 72 watt hours. That's a 3-hour charge. That ain't that bad. So you could go really cheap and use. You can get these a hell of a lot cheaper than this. Yeah, 25 watt here. This would be a reasonable charge speed. These are fake. Okay, so $8.50 a piece. You get something like this. What's this one here? Oh, this one was more expensive. It's the same thing. Okay, because the cheapest one they have here is this one here for $6.69. I guess I could add it just for now. Oh, you want the US? Even cheaper for the US plug. Mm-hmm. I guess I can get it and see how it is, for one. See if the quality is any good. Because this is on the Dollar Express, so you only have to buy 3 at a time. Actually, 2 would get you over $10, which is the minimum. I could just run it and see how hot it gets. So this has got a copper and aluminum sheet. All right, that ain't too bad. This might be perfectly good. But basically, I would 3D print something along the lines of, where is it at? Something along the lines of this. So I would have to wait until I get all the components in. Boy, is this taking a long time. Oh, so far we're at $1,808 this month. $51 in commission. Now I know why they changed this to 4,000. I'm willing to bet you a lot of people are like me, where they can make the 3,200, but would have difficulty making the 4,000. And that's why they bumped it up to 4,000, because then you don't get nothing if you don't hit 4,000. We are one halfway into the month, and I'm only at 1,808, which is close. So theoretically, we could hit the 4,000, and then I'll get the $120 extra. Why did you have trouble loading that page? Just load the damn page. There it is. So basically, I would design something like this without the end caps, and then make it a 2-gang, so 2 batteries. So 1 battery on the left, 1 battery on the right. And um, oh man. Um make it so that it's modular. Wagyu, the Wagyu connectors, or the, what do you call them? Because I'm only pulling 65 watts, so you can just use a whole bunch of the Wagyu connectors. I already have a whole bunch of them. I thought I had one up here I could show you. Yeah, I found my real nice can opener too. This is a nice one. You can get these from Amazon. I think you can get it from Walmart, but also Amazon. They're like 10 or 12 bucks, but it's American made. It's from doesn't say the company, just made in the USA. You can get them in red or black, but these are just, it's just a good can opener. I was happy I found that. What is that? Oh, it's my little Lexar. This one's a little unreliable, but it was really nice. I liked it because it had the USB-C on one end and the USB-A on the other, 128 gig. You could plug it into any device, and because it had a nice narrow plug, it fit in things like this that have a recessed plug. That was nice. I like that. I don't see one to show you. We got a whole drawer full of them over there. Yeah, I don't see it. Oh, these are cute. I got these. It's a little shooting star and a meteor. I just thought that was nice. Come on, autofocus, do your thing. I know you can focus this close. There it goes. So there's a little meteor and a shooting star. I thought those were cute. I don't see any. Where is that thumb drive for Logan? Uh-oh. If I can find it. Oh, there it is. I filled up a thumb drive. Logan bought a thumb drive and had it shipped to me. And I filled it up with movies. So he's got like 200 movies on here. So we both have one of those little players that it's a little player. It's like a signage device, but it'll play H.264. So it'll play MKV files and MP4 files. You just plug this into it. You got a remote control. You just scroll through the list and pick whatever movie you want to watch. Yeah, it's nice. Matey. So I'm gonna mail that to him. I also got him. These are headrest covers for your car, and it's got Tigger. He loves Tigger. And then I also got him a sticker for his. Where is the cup? There it is. I got him a tumbler that's insulated and capped so we can keep the bugs out, and it has his name on it. This is before the tariffs came in. I got this like $6, $7. It was super cheap, and so I got him some Tigger headrest covers, Tigger personalized insulated tumbler, and then I also got him a sticker that has Tigger holding a gas nozzle. You put it on your gas door on your car. Yeah, I thought you'd like that. So I'll send him those three, and I'll send him his thumb drive. And then what he'll do is he'll buy another $10 thumb drive and have it shipped to me, and then I'll start filling it up again. And once it's filled up, I mail it to him. And now he can watch whatever movies he wants. That's it. So I can't really design much until I get the parts in. I got to order one of those power strips. I got to take this apart today and see if these pieces are modular. Well, if I could separate these pieces from these pieces, that would be really handy. I wonder, is this deep enough? think that worked. Well, maybe not. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, there's short screws. We're going to see what's inside this. Because if I'm lucky, and even these that don't work, I keep them because they are great little parts trays. So at least there's no waste when I have a failed print one of those. That's nice. Oh, there's one. Wow, they really are short screws. Okay, good news and bad news. The wires are modular, but the rest is not. Shit. It just dropped, I think. Yep. Oh well. Alright, so the... Boy, that's simple, man. That is so simple. The good news is those wires are separate. Okay, that's not horrible. I wonder what this button's for. You know, I never tried to push the button while it was plugged into a battery. Doesn't appear to do anything. What about... Why'd that turn off? Oh. Oh, it just turns on the display. Oh yeah, the display turns off after a while, and all that does is turn on the display. So that doesn't do much. Yeah, I was hoping it might be a reset button, which would solve a lot of my troubles. Okay, so it's not a reset button. I guess we can see what the other side of that looks like. Oh, okay, it is a positive. Oh, the same screw. Oh, you bastard. It bounced out and fell out anyway. Okay. It is not modular, sadly. Oops. So it's this. So what I really need is a little extension for this. A little right angle. Actually, a right angle plug might work. A little right angle plug might do the trick there. There's way too many connections to, yeah. There's too many connections to desolder it and move it. Although, how many connections are running the display? Well, the display might be movable. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wires going to the display. And they're tall wires, which means I could snip those wires in half, and that would leave, yep, those wires are the only thing holding that on there. So I can move this display. I might even be able to find a plug that will fit that distribution of 6 wires, and then just very carefully snip them in half, and then plug a pigtail into it, and I can move this display somewhere else, because that's what I need to do. I need to move that display. So it might be possible. It might be feasible to make a nice little unit out of this. And then what else I would need is I would need a reset button for the AC input coming from the AC power to the power supply. So plug a new battery in, because you have to unplug both the battery and the USB plug in order to reset this. If either one is left plugged in, it does not reset and start charging a new battery. So what I would need is a momentary interrupt. I would need a button, interrupt button, to just boop, boop, momentarily interrupt the AC power and begin the charging again. Okay, that's feasible. That might be something we can do. Snip those wires, and then I can move this display somewhere else. What's that look like this? Yeah, that's fine. I can still read that display just fine. And that means I don't need access to this. I don't care about, all I have to do is unplug it and plug it back in, and I'll see that. Okay. That's interesting. And if I do it right with actual connections, you can make it like infinitely modular. So one connects to another, connects to another. So if you want to be able to charge, 10 batteries at the same time, then, connect 10 of these together. Or 5, because there'll be a battery on each side. And then if you only need 2, just take a single module with you. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. That is very, very interesting. I should also take the other one apart and see what that looks like inside. Since each one is effectively going to be independent, that could work. So I could try dismantling one of the nicer ones and see what that looks like inside. Why'd you do that? Don't disobey me. You get hurt. I will bite you. Oh, I forgot to put the button back in. That's the other thing that I love about Chinese products, is that they don't bother wasting money on the sonic sealing and adhesive equipment to glue all this shit together, meaning you can actually take their stuff apart. Yeah, that's nice. That's one thing I hate so much about American products, is that they actually go out of their way to make it so that you can't take stuff apart. Oh man, gotta be a pain, doesn't it? pixie stick will do the job. Come on, get in the hole. Get in the hole. Oh, wait a minute. That's a longer one. That is a different length. Oh. I didn't realize there were two different lengths. Come on. Get in the hole. There it is. It's really hard to get this in there. There's one spot where it just doesn't want to go. What I need is a magnetic tip. That'll work. So I accidentally used one of the long ones. There it is. That's a long one. You use the short one. What the? I have an idea. You might get a kick out of this. Do it. So I got these really good deal on some tools and stuff on Prime Day. So I got a pair of the garden shears, and it came with 2 batteries. And nice thing is it came with the small batteries, which is great for your little impact gun where you just don't need a lot of power. You just need lightweight. And the problem is this doesn't work in my DeWalt charger. It works in my DeWalt tools, but doesn't work on my DeWalt charger. However, it does work on the third-party chargers like this USB-C battery charger. Also, this USB-C battery charger was able to revive a dead battery. Where is it at? Right there. So I had this battery that's been dead for 5 years. Ever since I moved out here, I haven't been able to use this. I never got around to trying to jump it with another battery. But I plugged it into this, and at first I thought it wasn't working because it said 0, 0. But after about 10 minutes, it went to 1% and then began charging. So this $12 charger. Hey, I'm on my stream. It's all right. What's up? Okay, you got it. I'll check. All right, bye. It's not as nice as the other one I had that has a display screen and whatnot, but it is 100 watt and it is bi-directional. So you can use your battery as a power bank, a 100 watt power bank, and you can also plug your 100 watt USB charger into this and recharge the battery. And so, for example, I'm using my Lenovo 65 watt USB-C and it works perfectly. So that got me going on an idea. You know, oh, that's how they're spoofing it. They're spoofing the third pin. That is a temperature monitor, and they're spoofing it with a resistor. I do the same thing with my my Epson batteries because it won't work if it doesn't detect the temperature pin. So they're just faking it with a resistor. These are only like $12.59 a pop on Amazon. They're dirt cheap, and you also get a 24 watt A port and a 100 watt bi-directional C port, which is really freaking nice. Hang on, let me get this put back together real quick. I really have trouble doing 2 things at once. My brain just does not work like that. It really is. Where did I do it? There it is. Yes. Oh, yes, yes, yes. I know how to do that trick. I just never got around to it. For those that don't know, the trick to jumping a dead tool battery, this is a lithium ion not lithium iron. I wish it was. This is a lithium-ion battery. The trick is you take a good battery and you take a bad battery and you jump them. You put a pin in here, like a standard, automotive 12-volt pin. Stick one in there, one in there, one in there, one in there, and you're basically connecting the two batteries in parallel. Now, make sure you're holding this battery when you do that. You want this battery in your hand, so if it gets real hot, you can pull them apart, okay? Because you're about to dump a whole bunch of amps into this battery. But it's okay, it can handle it. So you plug the two together, give it about 10, 15, 20 seconds. Wait until, if it gets warm, unplug it. As long as it's not warm, let it run. Give it 10 or 15 seconds, maybe 20 seconds. And then when that's ready, you real quick take it out and stick it in your charger. Because what's happening is if the charger, those batteries have a bit more smarts to them. And those batteries are also not made to handle the kind of amps these batteries are made to handle. You drop, 400 watts into this battery, it's not going to care. You drop 400 watts into a DJI battery, it might care. What you can do with the DJI battery is get a universal lithium-ion battery charger. Let me find one for you. Here you go. So what you want is something like this. All right. I prefer white ones because they don't get hot. They're not annoying. But this is what you need. You need something like this. All right. So as you can see here, this is adjustable. This pushes out. And for shorter batteries, this actually turns around. And then these pins are adjustable. Now you got to make sure you get it right. Okay. But what you do is you size this for your battery. Let me see if they show you an example. They're not showing you an example. There's an example. And this one's cheaper. There we go. So you stick your battery in there. This is adjustable. You stick your battery in there and you adjust the location of the two pins. See those two pins there? Those two pins right there? And you see those two little levers above it? That's so you can move the position of this pin. This moves. This thing is spring-loaded. So you do is you open this up, you stick your battery in here, and you let it close. And then you adjust these pins until they line up with the pins on your battery, and then you plug it in. If there's any voltage at all, this might charge it. Maybe. It's designed to charge cells, so that might work. Now, if your battery dead shorted, if it dead defaulted, if the BMS actually shut down, this might not work because it'll see 0. Now, theoretically, there's a way you can fix that too. Yeah, for less than $10, it's worth a shot. I mean, really, I wish I could find one of these that was USB-C powered. That'd be nice. So it's mobile. I bet you there is a USB one. Exactly. That's what I'm worried about. DJI is a professional company, and they make, they comply with all the safety standards. If that permanent failure flag is tripped, you're not going to easily be able to fix that. There probably is a way, but here's a 2-pack for $10. Here, this one here is a 2-pack for $10. That's a different style. See how it's got the different pins? You just adjust the location. Exactly. You don't want that battery catching fire. And believe it or not, a lot of I'm not saying this is the case all the time. This definitely is not the case all the time. But there are lithium-ion batteries aren't as dangerous as people think. The dangerous lithium-ion batteries are the ones that are continuously going. For example, a UPS, where you are continuously charging, discharging, float charging. That's when it gets dangerous. A lithium-ion battery just sitting here is highly unlikely to ever be a problem, even if there's something wrong with it. Usually, a battery lighting off requires physical damage, meaning you hit it somehow and puncture it slightly and create a short inside. That's usually what's required for one of these batteries to fail. However, one time where they can fail is while charging. And that's why, for example, for drone batteries, stuff like that, we have lithium-ion battery bags to charge them in. Hey, Cat Prince. Um, a lot of the times, these knockoff batteries, these cheap Chinese knockoff batteries, are safer than the original DeWalt batteries. Because a lot of the times, and I shouldn't say DeWalt batteries. I mean tool batteries, because they're all different. I don't know what's inside this battery. But some tool batteries, there's no circuitry inside here because it needs to draw a lot of power. So instead of putting that expensive circuitry, because higher power is higher price. You know, if you want a BMS, it's not that expensive. If you want a BMS that can handle 400 watts, expensive. Okay? So instead of putting that expensive BMS in the battery, what they do is they put that BMS in the tool. And so the tool has the safety circuitry. Not always. I don't know if that's the case with DeWalt. I don't know which brands are which, but in some brands, the batteries are dumb, and the tool and the charger have the intelligence for batteries. That's why the battery has all these circuits. That's why the battery has so many connections, because the intelligence is sometimes not on the let's see if this one has it. Yeah, see how this one has extra pins? It has more than just 2 pins. And the same thing applies to the charger. Okay, and so the intelligence is on the expensive parts, the charger and the tool. And the problem with that is it means the battery's dumb, and that's why it's possible to drain one of these batteries down to the point where they stop working. It usually doesn't happen in the tool. It usually happens when there's a vampire discharge or quiescent current, I think they call it. I think the term is quiescent current. And it's possible to draw that quiescent current down low enough to where the battery is putting out power. The battery is putting out voltage. But the charger and the tool are saying, that's too low. I can't identify what that is. And because I don't want to create a fireball in your house, I'm not even going to try to charge it. And what we're doing when we jump 2 batteries together is we're boosting the voltage in this battery to get it above that minimum threshold voltage so the charger will correctly identify the battery and then begin charging it. And once the charger begins charging it, then you're fine because the voltage is being kept up. And so the battery should charge. But that's what makes me think that there's not much intelligence inside the DeWalt battery. Yeah, well, no, I wish. I am actually thinking about doing something like that. If it was just okay, here's the problem. If it was just capacity loss in my leaf battery, then yes, that's something I could do. I could put a nice big battery bank, you know, those cheap 100 amp hour lithium ion batteries in my trunk, and then hook that up to a 220 volt, 30 amp inverter, and then just run one of my chargers for my car up to the front. And whenever I park somewhere, just grab the charger and plug it into the car and charge it from the battery pack in the car. I could do that if it was just capacity loss. So that wouldn't extend my range, but whenever I stop somewhere, like so for example, I went to the movies, if I had a 10 kilowatt battery in the car, that would give me 2 hours of charging. So I could get to the theater, plug the car into itself using the battery in the back, and then the car would charge up for 2 hours while I'm in the movies, and that would work. The problem is that's not what's wrong with my Leaf. What's wrong with my Leaf is, okay, there are 5 batteries in here, and those batteries put out a nominal 18 volts. If one of those batteries were to undervolt early while the other 4 were still good, now it's only a 15-volt battery. And that 15 volts might not run the tool. That's what's happening with my Leaf. 5 or 6 of the cells, of the 92 cells inside my Leaf, are bad. When they're fully charged, the car doesn't realize there's anything wrong because the battery's all saying, hey, I'm putting out 4.2 volts, I'm fine. And then what happens is a couple of those cells go bloop and die. And now the car goes, whoa, pack voltage just dropped. Your battery's dead, and turns off the car. So sadly, the battery in the back won't help with that. Now, it might help with allowing me to reboot the car so I can try to keep driving. Because when the car fails like that, it's dead. It's a paperweight. The only way to reset it is to plug it into a charger, and then it does its thing and it resets the battery. So that would allow me to fix that. I am working on trying to figure out a way to do that. Because I don't need to put a lot of power into the car. I just need to reset it. But yeah, the only correct way to fix my car is to replace the battery, or to have somebody who knows what they're doing disassemble the battery, identify the undervolting cells, and replace those with good cells. It'd probably be a few $100 in batteries, but I don't have the money to pay. I mean, it would cost me $2,000 just to get the car to somebody who can look at it. The nearest place I know of is in Tucson, Arizona. So I would have to pay a shipper to ship my car to them, and then pay that shipper to ship the car back to me, because the car can't drive that far. And yeah, it's really annoying. Really, really, really annoying. But what we found out, DeWitt, is I found this. It's a 4-bay charger, not charger. You put 4 batteries in there, and you wear it like a backpack. And then it has a dummy cell, basically one of these without no batteries in it with a wire coming out of it. And then you plug it into your tool. And now you can run your tools all day. And you don't need any batteries at all. You just put 4 batteries inside that backpack. So I want to try to get the parts needed. I found this part here with the wire coming out of it for like $15. And I found the sleds to hook batteries up to for $4. So for less than $30, I can buy the parts needed and then 3D print the shell and enclosure to attach it all to, so that I can make my own, because that's $200 for that. I think I can 3D print it for $40, including all the parts. And then I can also experiment with making a 2-into-1 battery. So something where I can take 2 batteries into one to run a tool off of 2 batteries. And I also need to get myself a Makita tool. I need to find somebody with a Makita tool, because I'm pretty sure, after looking at the pictures, that these Chinese tools that I have, like my ankle biter, the circular saw on the stick, I'm pretty sure that's a Makita battery. I think that's a Makita connection. So I gotta find somebody local who has Makita tools and see if this plugs into it. And let's see if it works. Because if it does, then I can just adapt them. For $6, I can buy an adapter that'll convert Makita to DeWalt, which means I can then put that adapter on my tool, and for $6, just leave it on there permanently. And now that tool will now become a DeWalt tool, and I can use all my DeWalt batteries, which would be really freaking nice. And then I also want to work on designing and building my own multi-gang charger using these things here as the converter, because this will take 100 watts bidirectional, which means this is also oh wow, if I put 5 of these modules together, not only is this going to make it a 10-bay DeWalt 100 watt independent charge charging array, but it's also a 10-bay 100 watt each port USB battery bank. You can charge a lot of crap on that. Oh, you got 10 laptops? Come on, just plug them in. That's actually pretty cool. Now I'm actually really excited for this. So the idea is, can I use the parts inside here to make my own 3D printed modular thing? So I would need like laptop power supplies. I can get those for about $8.50 a piece. I can get them $6 a piece from China, but on eBay I can buy a bulk of used genuine OEM Lenovo adapters, which are probably better quality. And let me get this put back together. Um, I don't think that's going in. That one went in. I guess it went in. I think it's stripped. But anyway, the screen is only attached by its 6 electrical wires. So I should, and they're long. They're about that long. So what I can do is but now that I think about it, I want this at the top. Because by having this at the top, I can turn this into a power bank as well. So now I'm thinking I do want these on the top, which means I might not have to do a whole lot to these. I can actually use these as the connection for the batteries. I got to figure out how to do that properly though, because this actually does put out heat. Like heat does come out of these vents. Well, I can separate the two halves. The two halves don't have to be together. It's just wire connecting them. So I could just split the case, have this sitting up top, just sitting right there on top, and then use the existing screw holes and screw it into the case. Now I have it, and maybe even rewire this button to be a reset button to interrupt and reset the power. So I don't have to keep unplugging and plugging in the USB-C. And but then again, I might also want to use the nicer one. You know, this one here. Because the reality is, it doesn't cost that much more. It's only like $6 more. Yeah, this is $20. That one's $13, so $7 more. But this one's got a nice display screen and the maybe better positioning for the USB ports, possibly. I'm not sure. Ideally, what I would need is I don't think it would work though, because it wouldn't be able to manage the PD protocol. But it would be nice if I could put a splitter on here, so I can have one permanently plugged into the power supply and then one available for you to plug your device into. But this is this one has a display screen that gives you voltage, amps, watts, and percentage. And this one can do up to 140 watts. But doing this would allow me to each battery would be independently charged. And I can also design it to be modular. So you can hook multiple of these units together. Use a simple even though it's not made for AC power, we're only drawing so much power through it. It's not that much power. But maybe design some kind of electrical rail. No, you wouldn't want exposed mains. I would need some way of connecting them together internally, so that when you click them together, the AC power would connect from one to one, like a bus, a protected bus somehow. There's probably a way to do that. There's probably an existing thing I can buy that does that, to create a an AC connection that when you put the two modules together, when you connect the two modules together, it will connect the AC power to the next module, powering it up. But have it so that when they're unplugged, you don't have exposed mains. I mean, it could be as simple as well, you know, it could be as simple as just having an AC plug and male and female plugs sticking out, and just make sure the live end is always a female plug. You can't stick your finger in it, like the end of an extension cord. So make sure the live end is not one of these. And then just have the two plugs come together, and you have a latch on the top to connect one module to the next module. I couldn't do, well, I could do a slide-in module if I had the plugs mounted vertically. That could work. That could maybe work. I could just use regular zip cord. And no. Zip cord would work for 1, 2, or 3 modules, but you start going 3, 4, and 5 modules, you're potentially drawing a lot of power at this point for a zip cord. Because it would be 130 watts for each segment. So 4 segments is not, you're talking about a kilowatt now. So now you kind of want a decent quality cable. I don't know how much, what are they rated for? I have no idea what they're rated for. That is not what I typed in. It's because that pop-up. That pop-up interfered. So electrical cords. Oh, if they can actually handle 20 amps safely, then that's fine. Here we go. Why did you do that? It jumped. Oh, you're starting to annoy me. So this is rated for 13 amps, 16 gauge. Calculator. What's your problem? It's a freaking calculator. Why does it take that long to load a calculator? So that is 13 times 110, 1.4 kilowatts times 0.8. So you want to run it at 80%. That's 1.1 kilowatts. So then divide by 130. This can run 8 of them, and we're never going to run more than 5. Okay, so 14 gauge is fine, since we'll be running at 60% of its rated capacity. Okay, that works. I'd probably run a higher gauge just because. So even the 18 gauge would probably work just fine. We'd still be under 80% of its rated capacity. So probably better off using, first of all, these plugs are not ideal for this because they're hard to insert and hard to remove. So I would want to use a proper plug. Plug pair. AC. So this kind of a thing, a good quality plug like this, just because it's actually C13. What a C13 would be perfect for this. C13 plugs. There you go, right there. That's what you need right there. Okay. But that's what you need right there, that set. What we need is a set that is a hard plastic, not a soft plastic. Oh, I thought I switched that. Oh, I didn't. So C13 plugs like this. Male and female. Hard plastic like this, they should be easier to insert and remove. Oh, check that out. This one's got the Wagyu style connectors on it. That's pretty cool. Okay. Then one of these goes in the end. Well, you'd put one of these in each of them. Actually, ideally, you'd plug it in the middle, and that would distribute the amp load a lot better too. Okay. So if I get a set of these that's hard plastic like this, instead of the typical like soft PVC that they're made of, they'll insert and remove a lot easier. Especially since we won't have a grounding pin, there's going to be no grounding between them. Okay, that's not bad. Now, can I get both of these? Okay. So these are the females. I should be able to find male as well. And there's the male. Why does the male cost so much more? Oh, it's 10 of them. You're getting twice as many. That's why. There we go. 5 pairs. $10. That's what you want. And so these are rated for 20 amps, which means 2 kilowatts. And we're going to be running 700 or 800 watts max. So these have plenty of power. Okay. Oh, I like that, but we don't want that. Well, that would be nice for the outside one, the one that you plug. Although we don't need an outside one, you can just plug it into your end cap. But I have a use for the end cap too. Did I not switch the screen again? Yeah, I did switch the screen. Okay. I just didn't see it get posted a second time. Oh wow! Converts a C13 into an extension cord. Now that's interesting. I've never seen something like that. That's kind of cool. Okay, that's really cool. Yeah, C13 is the female and C14 is the male. Oh wow, can I get those cheaper? That's really cool. Let's do C14 to 5-15. Why did I put 15? 14. There it is. Too expensive, but there has to be a cheaper way to get those. There's a 20 amp right there. But what I want is like a 10 pack for $10. I'm cheap. It's got to be available. Let's try Nima. Excuse me. There it is. It's a little bit cheaper. Isn't there a 10 pack? That's it right there. That's the plug. Well, now I can do this. I should be able to do that. Okay, there's $1.69, but that's not choice, which means there's shipping. Oh, that's interesting. Adapters to convert to all the different kinds. So you can have one kind and then just adapt. That's pretty neat too. Oh wow, there's a double head. Since it's a 20 amp, this turns your C13 cable into 2. You just gotta be careful. Some 3D printers come with really crap cables. There's $1.69, but I don't see a C14 plug. Is that just a plug? That's just a rewirable plug. Okay, so that's just a plug. What I want is that C14 to NEMA for cheap. I'll keep looking. I'll find it. I want to get this for under $2. That's actually really handy because I got a lot of C13 cables. That basically allow you to turn any C13 cable into an extension cord. That's pretty hot. Let's add that to the cart just because. See, now this is something interesting. If you can find more of this kind of thing. So these little let's try this. Because that would make it cheap too, if you could find them cheap enough. Head DeWalt. See, the problem is, are you going to get it for less than $2.98, $2.99? That's $1.96, but there's probably shipping. Yeah. So I can't get just the head adapter. Nope. Let's do choice and free shipping. Well, this says choice. Oh, it's on the Dollar Express. Good. And only Makita's available. See, no DeWalt. DeWalt is not available. Yeah, if all the Chinese companies are using the Makita head, that makes sense why it would be so cheap. Because they're using for all of them. Here we go. Oh, DIY battery converter. And there's a DeWalt, $2.81. Okay, that's just a straight up the socket. Now this is actually not worth the price, only because it doesn't include the wires. But this would be handy for converting tools. So this might be handy for if you want. If it's using Makita, we just buy the Makita adapter because the Makita adapter is cheap. It's $6. But if your tool is a non-standard battery, then this would be handy because all you'd have to do is build a platform on your tool to accept this and take the wires that are already in your tool and hook it up to this. Okay, let's add that. Otherwise, you want the ones that come with the wires, since the cost of buying that wire would exceed the amount of money you'd save buying the adapter without the wire. So you're better off paying the $3.82 to buy this that comes with the wires. I want to get some of these too. These are 30 watts, and you can put 2 of them together. So you can do TWS stereo with 2 of them linked together. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so you're better off getting something like this. Because it includes the wire. All you have to do is connect the wire to whatever you want. Now, what's also interesting is that not only will I have a whole bunch of 100-watt USB ports that I can do anything I want with, but if I use the Wagyu connectors and I split these wires into a second bus, so use two C14 connectors, one for DC and one for AC. So one would distribute the AC from from module to module to allow you to connect multiple of these together to create as many charging bays as you want, up to your power limit. But I can also use a second C14 adapter, C13 pair, for DC power, and connect the. I would need to. How much power can a Zener diode take to stop reverse power? Because I don't want I don't want a dead cell and a full cell connecting together, which would be really bad. Because they would try to balance each other at high amps. So you'd want to have it so all batteries can output power but not input power. So I know in a solar system we use a Zener diode, which only allows power to move one way. But I don't know how much power they can handle. Could connect it with a switch, interrupt it with a switch, and you'd have to switch it on, but that would require the user to be intelligent. And if the user is an idiot, because that's a lot of power I can output over 18 volts, and then you can plug any inverter you want. It's one of my ideas is to have, the reason I don't want the battery plugs on the ends is because I want to connect modules to the ends so that I can make my own inverter module, for example, that will plug into the end. I don't need USB since I have a whole bunch of independent USB ports. Huh. That's interesting. Well, it's not volts, it's amps. I mean, these batteries can dump a ton of power. I'll have to think about it. It's going to be a more involved project. But it's interesting, though. Now, here's the other reason I want to make a backpack for batteries. Is one of the things that I hate about power tools is that the batteries wear out. I mean, after, they last a pretty decent amount of time, to be honest. But if you're going to start using it to actually power things, you're going to wear them out pretty quick. What would be nice is, well, first of all, what would be nice is if one of these companies made a lithium iron phosphate version of this battery. So one that uses like 21700 lithium iron phosphate cells. Now your tool battery will last 20 or 30 years instead of 5 years. But in the meantime, unless somebody figures out how to do that, what I can do is take some of these batteries take something like this. Let me show you the screen. You can really go hardcore and use these. So these are probably too big, but 4 of these will give you. Well, actually, I could just make this put out the same power as a DeWalt battery. Just use 5 cells, 6 cells. Yeah, so 6 cells would give me 18 volts nominal, 19.2 volts nominal, and that would be enough to run any DeWalt tool. Since you're running them in series, you have a shit ton of amps available to you. There'll be at least 1C, a minimum of 1C, and these might be greater than 1C. But even if it's only 1C, that's 320 times 19. That's 6 kilowatt hours. Or not kilowatt hours, that's 6 kilowatts. I'm not aware of any goddamn battery-powered tool that takes 6 kilowatts. None. All right, there's none that take that much power. So you don't need this much power. So what we would want is smaller ones like this. You know, like 100 amp hour. Here's a 300. Oh, actually, that's not too bad. Still, that's 500. That's $600. That's almost $700 for the battery pack. Nasty. Oh, it's so slimy. Ugh. What I really want is smaller 100 amp hour cells. Here we go. No, that's 314 amp hours. But to start with, I could do something like this. Let's see. Here we go. So here's a 21 amp hour 12 volt battery. So I take 2 of these, put them in series. That's 24 volts. And then for charging, that's pretty easy too. I get 2 of these and hook it up to each of these to a little adapter inside the 3D printed housing. And you just plug it in when you get home. But this would give me 42 amp hours of power, which would equal 42 times 12.8. That's 537 watt hours. So my 12 amp hour battery is 12 times 18 is 216 amp hours. So this would be equivalent to 4 6 amp hour DeWalt batteries. And I could easily boost that by using 4 of these if I want. So I could put a kilowatt hour in a backpack, and it would not be all that heavy, especially as a backpack. So to start off with, $100, I get 2 of these. Actually, I have 2 of them. So I could even test this without buying anything. What are the differences here? That's an 18 amp hour. Okay, 15, 12, 9, 6. Okay. So 20 amp hours is, you'd want to go with that. So 2 of these, and you now have equivalent to 2 12 amp hour DeWalt batteries or 4 6 amp hour. So that's equivalent to 4 of these. These are 6 amp hours. So that would be the same as putting 4 of these in that backpack, which is what people are typically going to do. They're going to put 4 of these in there. And that would be more than enough to run any DeWalt tool. And now I would have a battery backpack that is lithium iron phosphate. Now, if I also build, say, a 1,000 watt or 1,200 watt, actually better be 1,500 watt. If I build a 1,500 watt inverter into that, so 4 of these batteries and a 1,500 watt inverter, now you have a kilowatt hour lithium iron phosphate battery pack. You could run a microwave off of that. You could run a burner off of that. You can run a TV and stereo off of it. You run whatever you want off of that. And because it's lithium iron phosphate, you're not just burning through battery cycles. It's going to last, 15, 20, 25 years. And that would work. And by using 4 of them, because, 2 of them don't weigh that much. I could easily put 4 of these in a backpack, and I would not consider that burdensome. So I would have a backpack that I could run any power tool I want all day. And all of my power tools without having to use different batteries. Just take whatever tools I need without the batteries. And then just plug my sled into it on the backpack. And then if the power goes out, now I have a power supply that I can use to power things. And or if I need power remotely, like I could take it on camping with you or something like that, or to an event, like when you go to something like Armor. Now you have a 1 kilowatt-hour battery to run whatever the hell you want, and that's pretty cool. That's actually damned cool. But I would like to make it so that I can run on either the DeWalt batteries or the big 20 amp hour batteries, either or. That'd be nice. I would really love it if somebody made a lithium iron phosphate version of these with the appropriate circuitry to use it on existing chargers and just have the BMS in the battery handle the conversion. That's how these work. That's how these little SLA style batteries work. You can plug them into any automotive 12-volt charger, and the internal circuitry in these things handles the conversion. So it'll charge properly, stop charging when it knows it's full, irrespective of what the automotive charger thinks. And that'd be pretty cool, though. That'd be really cool. Huh. But that actually would be pretty cool. You could put a MPPT controller inside of it and make that a module. So I want to make this modular. So on the ends, you can plug in an inverter or plug in more USB ports. And maybe on the other end, you could plug in a solar MPPT charger. That would be a module that would plug into it. And now you could solar charge all these batteries. That'd be pretty cool too. What you would do is you would just have a single inverter, a 1,000 watt inverter or 800 watt inverter that the solar panels would no, that wouldn't work. How would you do that? I guess you would need a battery module. Do it right, you would need a battery module. So that you could have a battery built into this thing. So the MPPT controller might include a battery so that you have a buffer between power to the chargers, and although you can DC float charge these batteries, as long as you don't reach their max voltage, you can just float charge them. So, go a couple of percentage points below their maximum voltage. This way there's no chance of you overcharging. And if, 18 volts is 18 volts. When the battery reaches 18 volts, it'll stop charging. Doesn't matter how much power it's connected to. You have to bump the voltage up higher than what's in the battery for it to take a charge, as far as I know. Like, I'm pretty sure, if I hook 1,000,000 watts at 18 volts up to this battery, and I restrict the flow to what this battery can handle, once this battery reaches that voltage, it will stop charging, right? Because they'll be at parity, they'll be balanced. Because the balance is not based on capacity, it's based on voltage. Voltage is what the parity comparison is. The batteries have no way of knowing that that's a 6 amp hour battery and that's a 4 amp hour battery. A 6 amp hour battery just takes longer to reach 18 volts. So if you have two batteries that are close in voltage, there won't be that big of a spike in amps. And as long as you have circuitry to restrict the amp flow, and the solar panels themselves are going to be the restriction, because they're only going to put out a couple hundred watts, you could hook a solar panel up to this, and as long as you control the voltage, then if the batteries are full, let's say I'm gonna guess here, say they're full at 21.2 volts, then only charge to 19.8 volts. So you only charge to 90%, but now you don't need complex circuitry to top the batteries close to full. Huh. I gotta talk to people, find out if I'm correct on that. I could be talking right out of my ass and create a fireball when I blow up my house with these batteries. That's why you do it outside. You do it outdoors. But I'm pretty sure that these things do not detect capacity. Like that percentage, when you plug a battery into one of these things, it's not reading capacity. It's reading voltage. And we are assuming voltage, a capacity based on voltage. I'm almost certain that's exactly how that works. That's why my car is being funny, because the batteries are putting out the correct voltage, which tricks the onboard electronics into thinking the battery's good. But then when the batteries sag, the voltage drops, and now the car goes, oh, something's wrong. Because if they could actually detect capacity, then the car would know the battery's bad. Interesting. I got to look into that. As long as you have a regulated voltage output that can handle the amp load, and if you hook a single solar panel up to it, 300 or 400 watt solar panel, it shouldn't be that hard to handle 400 watts. Interesting. Oh boy, that is interesting. But that's the other thing I need. I need a DC-DC converter that'll take the 24 volts coming out of my battery pack and drop it down to the 18 to 21 volts that this thing expects. The 18 to 20 volts that these tools need, while being able to handle the amp load that these tools draw. So, DC transformer. I'm pretty sure that's what you need to use. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is exactly the kind of thing I need. But I need a whole lot more power than this. So it looks like this would probably do it, but I don't need a 36 volt, 72 volt. I need 24 volt. Yeah, I don't know exactly how to do that. It's 24 volt to 18 volt. Okay. So I need 400 watts. Because these tools can draw 400 watts. Or more. See, this is 24 to 12. I need 24 to 18. Or closer to 26 volts, actually. There's got to be, this has to exist. This is something that has to exist. I'm just not searching for it correctly. See, here's 18 to 36 to 24. I'm assuming I'll hurt these tools if I pump 24 volts into them. Although with voltage sag, will that be close enough? That's interesting. It might handle it. Nickel metal hydride is nice too. It also has a long life, like lithium iron phosphate. Maybe better, but it can't put out the kind of amps. That's the problem, is finding one to handle the kind of current. It would be easy if the tools can handle the 24 volts. You know, if they're able to handle the 24 volts, then it's just not a problem. I mean, there are certain tools you wouldn't want to plug into that, like USB converters. Fans would be okay because you could turn the power down, but LED lights might burn out. But I'm wondering if things like saws and, you know, tools like this would be just fine running on 24 volts. I might have to keep an eye out for some cheap drills and stuff. You know, if I can get some DeWalt tools cheap and just, you know, try it. See what it does. Let's torture a tool today. That's not a 2% increase, it's a 20% increase. Ah, looks like somebody else did what I'm thinking of. A battery pack in the backpack. I'll have to watch that. Interesting. Okay. The better would be to down convert to the 18 volts, because the reality is it's a lot more than 20%. It's a 33% power increase, voltage increase, because they say 20 volts, but it's a 5S battery. That's 18 volts. Nominal, 18 to 19 volts. It's only 20 volts for a very short time when it's fully charged. Like, actually, you can see that right here. There's a 6 amp hour battery, so it's a bigger battery. So that's putting out 20.8 volts. Okay, so it is putting out 20 volts at full charge. What about a smaller battery? 20.9 volts. Okay, so it is putting out 20 volts. So it's a 20% voltage increase. Yes, I know, but the problem is most buck converters can't handle 400 watts. Most of them are designed for 5 watts or 15 watts or 30 watts, and that's about it. While this probably won't draw that much power. You start putting that impact gun under load, it will. You connect that circular saw, it will. So I need a buck converter that can handle max. Let's find out max power. Well, batteries. So 40 amps or more. So let's assume 50 amps. 50 times 20. So that's 1 kilowatt. So I need a 1,000 watt buck converter. Okay. There we go. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. Here's one that takes kilowatt. 1,000 watt, 50 amp, 25 to 90 volt adjustable step down power supply module. Perfect. I'm guessing I have input, output, and then this adjusts the output. Okay, that's not bad. So 50 amp DC dash DC. I'm looking for one that's choice. I don't have to worry about stupid shipping bullshit. Okay. Not what I want. I need that fully adjustable. So I need something like this. Okay, that's choice. It's only 16 bucks. This one's even got a fan. Okay. No, I'm saying when you look up online, when you look up the convert voltage, a lot of the ones that you look at, the cheap ones you find are oh yeah, absolutely. So there's a 50 amp 1000 watt. Although it says 25 to 90 volt input. So will this accept a 22 volt input? The output's fine, but the input might be a problem. It might bitch about that problem. Although the fact that I'm only putting out 18 volts, it might be okay at 22 volts. I mean, if I have to, I can run 3 of them at 36 volts. And that would get me within the range. Just run 3 in series. And that would put me right, smack in that range that it wants. Let's add that. I do not have the money for this right now, that's for sure. Yeah, let's see what else do we have here. Matter of fact, I might even better go with this 1500 watt one. It's only slightly more money, but it gives me more overhead. Hey, Michelle. Why'd you delete your comment? How come? What happened? Okay, this one does 15 to 90 and 2.5 to 72. And it's 1200 watts. Why does it say 800 and 1200? What's the difference? The 800 input, 1200 output? Oh, it's different models. Yeah, I'd rather just go with the 1500 watt. Add that too. Why is it rescheduled, Michelle? Oh, actually, I gotta get out of here. I gotta go get my Roadrunner today. Oh, sorry. So yeah, 17 bucks will get me a test module right there. These handle 1000 watts. And none of the tools I have take 1000 watts. Okay. I mean, that's not horrible. This one's even got a screen. It might be worth it for the screen. That'll make it really easy to set the voltage. But again, this one's at 25 volt input. That worries me. Because I could put in as low as 18 volts. Okay, so it's more than I was hoping it would be, but not bad. That's not horrible. And I would only need this for running the lithium iron phosphate. And if I'm already spending $100 or $150 in lithium iron phosphate batteries, it's not that big a deal to spend $20 on one of these. That's just not that big a deal at that point. Okay, it's in my list. I'm going to watch that later. Where is where's the watch later option? On the phone, I can select watch later. Why can't I do that here? Save. Oh, watch later. Here we go. Nope. That's annoying that I have to go through all these steps. Yeah, I didn't see it originally because I didn't want to save it. I wanted to add it to watch list. On the phone, it's one click, 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 done. This, you have to click save and then pick your list from here. That looks like that's exactly what he's doing here. Battery pack with a cable into the tool. He's got another one for this one. Okay. All right, now I know what I need. Okay. Awesome, awesome. All right, that's it. I got more of the orange PETG, so I'm going to print the triple head for this. See how bright it is. I know it's going to be nice and bright. Print the triple head for this and print the second one, and these are going to get mounted to my my driveway posts out of the street. I just think these are going to look freaking amazing. They're going to get mounted. I'm going to try out the razors, see how that works. If you guys have battery tools, they make these for Makita. They make them for Milwaukee, and even sometimes a couple others. But these are, I'm going to give you a link. They're dirt cheap. They're so cheap, it's ridiculous. Come on. Oh, it's a separate link now. Oh, by the way, this is still on sale. It's a different one. It's blue and yellow, but it still comes with the two, it's the same, comes with the two batteries. Nope. Copy. So if you guys have DeWalt and you want a nice pair of these nippers, there's the link for those. The nice thing is, you get a nice pair of pruning nippers, and you get two 2 amp-hour batteries for $30 freaking. Hello, yes, if I had the money, I'd buy another one just to get 2 more batteries. And then this one here is $12.99 for the USB charging adapter. That's the charging adapter. So that is this. Let me switch back my screen. You get a 24-watt USB-A and a 100-watt USB-C that is bi-directional, which means you can plug this into your tool battery and output 100 watts USB-C, or input up to 100 watts USB-C to charge your battery. So you plug this into your tool battery, and now you can output or input 100 watts and output 24-watt USB-A, and this will also charge fully dead batteries. So batteries that your OEM charger won't charge, this might charge it. It charged mine. Like, this would not charge. I couldn't get a charge on anything, not that one. This one. And now it works fine. So now it charges. I don't know. When did you order them? What day? Let's find out. AMZ. Let's see, full report. Earnings. So on the 14th, I got $10. That was a Dyson air purifier. I got $10 commission on that. That didn't work. Full report. I hate when you can't use the back button. It's so annoying. Let's see, 948 on the 12th. Let's see, yard drag sled for $3. Handheld oscilloscope, I got $2.50. Oh, July 4th. Oh, we're way back. Okay. Back to all dates. So let's see, we got the 5th at $1.44, the 7th, 8th at a $10.92. Soldering. No, the most expensive was a solar security camera. Let's ordered items. Ordered on July 4th. Let's see. Sriracha sauce, Shiwaki aluminum backplate, mini electric screwdriver, stainless steel funnels, chili sauce, Lycodane roll. No, it doesn't even show up under earnings. Day before, vegetable soup mix. The next day, I had nothing on the 5th. On the 6th, let's see. Pretzels, Pepsi Cola, Mountain Dew, pineapple tidbits, cherry mixed fruit bowls, S-hooks. No. I don't see anything on July 4th. Back to all dates. July 9th. Multiplier popsicles, facial tissues, trailer hitch. Can you guys see this? No, you can't. Dill pickles, Dyson. No, I don't see that at all. That should be okay to do as long as you don't click on anybody else's link. But what you need to do is to either click on one of the links in my YouTube video or go to Nerisse.com. So Nerisse.com here and click on Amazon shopping page, which should load the app or bring you to this website. And it just takes you to the home page. I've never saw what happens if you use the app. I don't know. I have no idea how that works. Ooh, nice backpack. Orange. I like orange. But if it's already in your shopping cart, I won't get credit. It's like you can see here, I got 2 items in my shopping cart here. If I were to click on, say, let's say you had an affiliate link, and I clicked on it, if I added this, I would get credit for that, but I would not get credit for this because it's already in my shopping cart. So what you have to do is you have to open it in a new window. You have to delete it from your shopping cart. Then you have to go and add it to your shopping cart again. Then you go to my link, click on that, and then add to cart. And now I'd get credit. I found this light for $10. When I have the money, I'm going to grab it. Yep, that's why. That's why I didn't get credit. You got to remove it from your cart. Then you got to click on my link. And then you got to add it back to your cart again. Otherwise, I don't get credit. If you want to guarantee it works, if you look up top here, here's the link on Amazon. And that right there is the item number. Just copy that. I believe you can find that in the listing here as well. Yeah, right here. See where it says ASIN? And you have that number? You could do that, but probably easier just to type this in. Type the first few words of whatever it is, and that'll bring up what you're looking for. But yeah, if it's already in your shopping cart, I don't get credit. The logic Amazon uses, which does make sense, their logic is, well, you didn't bring her here to buy this. She already wanted to buy it. That's their logic. And I can't argue with it. You know, that's fair. Yes, like I said, if it's already in your shopping cart, I will not get credit. But yeah, this is a $10 light that I'm going to get. And it looks like it actually has a heatsink on the back. I'm hoping that's actually metal and not plastic. But either which way, this one already has a switch for two different speeds, or not speeds, for two different light outputs. And this one also has a USB-C port, which is nice. But what I'm hoping is that if I take this apart, that's just going to be two resistors. And I can either put a rheostat in there or change the resistor. Because what I want is a light that is really, really dim. I want a light that puts out like 15 watts of light. So that would be like a 2-watt LED bulb. You know, just enough to light up a room. So if I shine it on the ceiling, I can see what I'm doing. So like in a power outage, I could turn this on and leave it on all night and not have to worry about power consumption. Because right now, the lights that I have, I don't have it handy right now. They're just too bright. It's just too damn bright. It's 10 times more light than I need. And when all I need is enough light to see to go to the bathroom and crap. So I want to get one of these because they're only $10. And then see if I can make it dimmer. Although maybe the number one setting will be dim enough, but I doubt it. I want to make it dimmer. I'd like to make it so that a little 2-amp-hour battery will run it all night. I don't know. Somebody would have to test that. So what I would do is I would assume it does not work when you're going to place a multi-part order. And then what you do is when you're ready to place your order. So let's say you're going to order. Why is there no shopping cart here? There's no go to shopping cart link. It's hidden behind that. Weird. Yeah. You know, add something like that's really cheap, like that, and try it. Hit save for later. All right, then click on my link. Click on Amazon. Go to your cart, and then scroll down here to move the cart. And see. Well, no, when I was on the other page, this wasn't here. So here. Oh, now it's there. Okay. It wasn't there before, but now it is. Or maybe I just didn't see it because I was looking for it here. But yeah, there it is. Cart. But yeah, try that. See if it works. Try it so that we can see, okay, yes, that got added, but that didn't get added. And then we'll see the difference. Yes, that did. We just saw that. We just saw that. Hang on. I saw an oscilloscope. A handheld oscilloscope. I did see one. This one. Nope, that was the Dyson. Really? This one. PLA. Yeah, right here. This one here. Is that what you ordered? I got $2.49 for that. Sweet. What's a drag sled? I think I know what that is. It's for hauling stuff around the yard and flattening the grass and stuff and leveling the dirt. Okay, so save for later works. Yeah, drag sled. That's what I thought that was. Cool. Okay, so Cassandra, that's an easy way to do it. So you go to your cart. Why are you taking so long? So here's how you guys can fix that. If you have stuff already in your cart, just click save for later. I don't know why this is taking so long. My computer's being slow. So you click save for later. And so now your shopping cart is empty. Okay. Then you click on my link. So go to Nerys.com or link in one of my videos. Click on my Amazon page. Click on the cart. And then click move the cart. Nice. Yeah, get the one with the big screen. It's worth it. It's so nice to be able to look at a giant screen. And then all you have to do is go here, move the cart, and move the cart. I want to get one of those eventually too, a toilet plunger. I really want to get that, but because it's on sale right now, for some reason, these are unusually expensive usually, but this is on sale for 50 bucks. I just don't have the money. And move the cart. I also found a, you can get 5-foot long lengths of glue stick, so you can just feed it in. And I also found this nice rotary tool. Well, it's not that nice, but it's a rotary tool that connects to the DeWalt batteries. I thought that was pretty cool. I want to get this fan, but I think I can get this for $10 cheaper on AliExpress. Because I want a simpler fan instead of that big giant monster. I want a big fan, but not like bulky. And eventually I'll have to get a Ryobi adapter so I can use my DeWalt batteries on my Ryobi tools. Oh, here's the deal today. If you they have a coupon and you use subscribe and save, you can get 5 pounds of Skippy really cheap. So it's $9.92 subscribe and save plus the $2.37 coupon. Come on. Why can't I click this? Oh, I did. So $9.92 and $2.37 off. So that'll get it for $7 and change. And you can get 5 pounds of creamy Skippy. That's not bad. I'm thinking about grabbing one of those. Just because that's a good price. I mean, it's not bad for Skippy. I like chunky though. Creamy's good too, but I like chunky. I wish they had the honey one. I love the one with honey. Yes, what I do is I do subscribe and save. And then you see here, delivery every. You just change that to 6 months. That gives you plenty of time to cancel it. And what I do is I wait until I get it. Because sometimes you don't get it right away. Like, see, this is not going to come until... actually, this would get delivered tomorrow. But sometimes they do slower delivery for subscribe and save. But subscribe to it, and then after you get it, just cancel it. Unless it's a good deal, then you will get it that often, then keep it. But otherwise, cancel it. But yeah, that's what I do for all my subscribe and save. I would just leave it in the fridge. Worth it to me, because for me, it's all about the dollar. It's all about the price. Well, I can get peanut butter cheaper. I haven't bought peanut butter in 2 years, so it's probably a lot more money now. Let's see what it costs right now. The point of that is if you like Skippy. If you like the higher quality peanut butter. And Skippy is good. It is a higher quality peanut butter. In my opinion. It could just be placebo effect. Like my favorite's Peter Pan Honey. That's my favorite. But that's a 40-ounce jar, which is $16.32. That's 2.5 pounds for $5.77. So it's a lot cheaper than that. However, it's only $3.98 for Walmart's 40-ounce. So that's 80 ounces for $8, which is about the same price. 80 divided by 5. No, divided by 16. That's 5 pounds. So it's slightly cheaper than Walmart's in-house brand. So you're getting name brand Skippy for less than Walmart's price for their peanut butter. That's not bad. Well, that's not bad. Now, of course, the big question is, will you eat 5 pounds before it goes bad? Now, peanut butter does last a very long time. Peanut butter is not prone to going bad. Although there's a 50-cent coupon for, oh, you have to buy 2, so it's only a 25-cent coupon. Let's see, do they, and here's your normal price. Your normal price is $12 for 5 pounds of Skippy. So yeah, so it's worth it. Here is a 64 ounce. That's 4 pounds for $6.47. So that's still cheaper. Actually, we can calculate this since these idiots are using per ounce instead of per pound. 80 divided by, what's the price? $992,237. 9.92 minus 2.37. It is $7.55 divided by 80. So it is 9.4 cents an ounce. This is 12 cents an ounce. Normal price. This is 10 cents an ounce. Walmart's is 10 cents an ounce. So now here's the weird part. Walmart's 4-pound jar is actually more expensive than their 2.5-pound jar. So this is 10 cents an ounce, and their big jar is 10.1 cents an ounce. Now this is actually pretty cool, but it's very expensive. This is 100% peanuts, no added bullshit, just peanuts. But their 64-ounce jar is actually more expensive than their smaller jars. How crazy weird is that? I've tried this natural Jif before. It's pretty good. It's not bad. Oh, there's the honey. I love the honey. So yeah, I mean, I go through a halfway decent amount of peanut butter. You know, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are very cheap. You know, it's cheap. It's got protein. It tastes good. It's got variety of flavor and texture. So I do like peanut butter and jelly. It's weird. I'm not a fan of peanut butter, but I like peanut butter jelly. Cinnamon, sugar, cookie, cashew, almond butter. That just sounds good. I have no idea what cashew butter tastes like, but it says cinnamon sugar, and I love cinnamon sugar. But yeah, I'm probably going to buy this. I mean, it's a good deal. $7.55 for a 5-pound jar of creamy peanut butter. No preservatives, artificial flavors, or colors, too. Okay, I can dig that. Roasted peanuts, hydrogenated vegetable oil, cottonseed, soybean, rapeseed to prevent separation, and salt and sugar. So yeah, I'm okay with that. For $7.55, yeah. If that's still on sale, I'll probably order it once I have some money. I don't have the money to order it right now. That's a nice watch. I'm not gonna buy it, of course. It'd be dumb. I can't afford to spend $40, but that's a nice watch for $40. Eventually, I'd love to get one of these nibbler. Yeah, that's handy for doing metal work. What the? Okay. Interesting. Caulking gun. And this too. This is really cool. It's a little belt sander. It's finally one that's affordable. They're very, very expensive from DeWalt. But that is cool. I really want one of those. This is neat, but again, way too bright. This is $50 and it doesn't even come with a battery. Screw that. This looks interesting for making a area light, if you can dim it. But that's the question. Can you dim it? I don't think you can. This one's interesting because it takes 12-volt bulbs. It's an E27 socket, so you can't put a regular bulb in there, but you can get plenty of. I'll show you. E27 12-volt LED. You can get a whole bunch of different 12-volt LED bulbs. Here's a 6-watt bulb, 6-watt bulb. Here's a 3-watt. That'd be perfect. A 3-watt would be nice. That would be a good wattage right there. Theoretically, these bulbs should work in this. It's an E27 socket designed to put out 12 volts. So the question is, does this actually down convert to 12 volts, or is it just piping 18 volts to the bulb and assuming the bulb can handle it? I don't know. I'd have to get one and try it, but that's $21. Not worth it right now. I just don't have the money for that. But yeah. All right. I want to go to the Roadrunner and see what kind of fruits and veggies they have today. So I will see you guys later. I can't work on designing the unit until I get parts. I can start designing the part that maybe attaches to this part. If I can but I want to find my other one and take that one apart too. But then again, if I make it modular, then I can have different modules for different ways, so I don't have to worry about that. But I definitely want to make the battery backpack. I just think that's a great idea. It makes the tools lighter, a lot lighter. You know, imagine this without a battery attached to it. I mean, that's pretty light with no battery attached to it. Although these are pretty heavy lately. These new ones are heavy. Even though I like using all the same battery, I still want to. I gotta take this. All right, I will see you guys later. Thank you very much. Don't forget my Patreon and PayPal down below, and I will see you guys next week.